Good morning and welcome to 8 Minutes a Day. I'm Father Simon, the parish priest here in the parish of Minehead. I've chosen a passage from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, that is really speaking to me very much at this time. And it goes as follows. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. From the fig tree learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see all these things, you know that he is near at the very gates. Truly, I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But about that day and hour no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. For as the day of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in those days before the flood they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered the ark, and they knew nothing until the flood came and swept them all away, so too will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then two will be in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. Two women will be grinding meal together, one will be taken and one will be left. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour. As we walk towards the joy of the Christmas season, there is some considerable Advent hope found in our preparations and our reflections on the journey of following the star, and in the realities of our lives with a vaccine for COVID-19, now a very real and tangible truth, and our prayers for the NHS are never more important. The other very real and tangible truth that we have all been grappling with is that none of us have been left untouched by death. In our own church community here in Minehead, over a dozen parishioners have died, not from COVID, but we have lost beloved and trusted friends. Every loss has left a wound and a scar in our little community. And how close we are to those who have died, of course, varies. Some of us have lost colleagues, some friends, some much closer friends, and some family. I'm not a particular fan of clergy self-revealing in sermons too much, but today I'm going to do exactly that and feel it's the right thing to do. Over the past 5 months, I have lost 4 beloved friends, 4 women in fact, all of whom have had a significant impact on my life and who have made me the person I am today. Yesterday I learned that a much loved friend died 2 weeks ago, unexpectedly. She was the same age as me, in her early 50s, and our lives have been intertwined together for over 30 years. We started our teaching careers together in the 80s. We ate together often, drank together a lot, went dancing together. I was there just after her first child was born and her second. I walked with her when her first marriage disintegrated and when she changed career. I watched her life blossom once again in a second marriage, this time in the States, and a new career. I watched her grow into a powerful, confident and positive woman who chose to support and coach men and women in their own lives through teaching them how to be emotionally well. And now she has died. It's painful and distressing to know that she died so young, and that our interactions via various social media and communication tools have now ended. There is much I wish I had said to her that I didn't, and it's now too late. Whilst praying for my friend, for her husband and her 2 young adult children, I've been conscious of the need to be prepared, since, as this gospel reading says, about that day and hour no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. And this is, of course, about Jesus' return, but no one of us knows when it will be our turn, when we will die. My friend's untimely death has really reminded me, and some of my other friends, of this truth. There's no competition, and none of us know when the trumpet call is going to be the one that calls us. My friend's death has also reminded me of how important our human relationships and our human connections are. We just do not know when they will end. And this in turn has made me reflect on those human relationships that I, and of course others, have managed to mess up, and of the friends that I've lost contact with. There is of course no simple or single answer to the question of the quality of our human relationships, but I sit here wondering about whether this year, this season of COVID, this time of restrictions and lockdowns, and this Advent is a time for us to be full of gratitude for our human relationships, for our friends, and to never take them for granted. Perhaps this year is a year that could challenge us to pick up the phone to someone we've not spoken to in a long time, or write a letter to someone we rarely write letters to, or even to be brave and to stretch out a hand of peace and reconnect and repair a broken and lost relationship. Death, and the death of a beloved friend, is a leveller. It kicks much of our lives into tow. It wakes us up to the truth of our own mortality. It also reminds us that whilst there is breath in our bodies, we have an opportunity to put things aright where things need putting aright. So through the mercy of God, may my beloved friend rest in peace, and on the last day rise in glory. Amen.